Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to This Podcast is for Nerds, where I, your humble host, have figured out that Calvin, our other humble host, likes it like that.
I do indeed. I do indeed. I'm not going to sing it.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that your lives are slowly returning to normal. If not, are having plans in your area to come back to normal at some point. Maybe your state has a stage 5 plan or a stage 6 plan to return to normal. Maybe your state has denied it and said this is all just a hoax, and you're possibly have all your borders to other states closed down and you're in the Southwest somewhere.
Yeah,
I don't
looking
know.
at you, the South.
I'm not sure what your plan is, but we're glad we're here with you this afternoon, this evening, this morning, depending on when you're listening to us. Welcome back to This Podcast is for Nerds. And yes, we like it like that.
Indeed. So last week, Zach came up with the brilliant idea of doing a series where we go over our favorite video games from each console. So this week, we're going to be doing the PlayStation 1. And we were talking about it as we were getting ready for this, and we both realized like neither of us actually own this console.
Yeah.
How much playtime did you get on it, and how did you get your playtime?
I got a decent amount of playtime. I had friends who had placed the original PlayStation, and I was at their house, I would say at least twice a month. I didn't grow up with, like, we talked about this, but like a ton of money. So I had like the original NES system where you had to blow in a cartridge and maybe you got to level 4 in Mario, and there was no save files back then. So you just, you got where you got. And I had a Sega Genesis, which also had the curse of you blow on it for half an hour and maybe when you're in Green Hill Zone in the original Sonic, it wouldn't freeze on you. But the minute you got past that, it froze.
Oh man, that's brutal. Yeah, I didn't. So I'm trying to think. Like the first console I owned, I think was an N64. Okay. But I definitely played earlier consoles. My stepbrother had the PlayStation, and I would visit his house like every other weekend. So I got a little time with the PlayStation 1, not as much as I'd like. And there's a ton of games, like so many classics that I want to go back and finish from this era. So I'm actually pretty excited for this talk.
Yeah, I think for me, it was pretty much the same. Like I only owned those two consoles. I think the only console I had that was actually mine and I got a lot of playtime out of it. And to be fair, playtime meant I had only one game for each console until I was an adult and bought more on my own, was the Game Boy Color. And of course, repping Pokemon Yellow, that's what I played.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Pokemon Yellow was the jam.
I got my actual certificate for collecting all 151 on there.
Oh, really? Wow.
Lots of trading, lots of going back and forth between red and blue, lots of messing around with silver. No, I played silver also. I played silver and crystal. I think about it. So I guess I played all Pokemon games because on Game Boy Color, there weren't really a lot of other great games. Like there was a game I had called Pipe Dream, which wasn't great. And then like the Ants video game, which was hilarious because like someone actually debunked it later on how it was one of the most like difficult games to actually beat. And I didn't feel bad anymore for like dying all the time in that game.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like my Game Boy was like a glorified Pokemon machine.
It really was.
I mean, I'm sure there were good games on the Game Boy, and I'm sure like if we had an audience, they would tell us, here's all the games you should have been playing on your Game Boy. But like,
it was still Pokemon and Mega Man.
Yeah, I never played Mega Man on the handheld. But man, I remember I ran my Pokemon Silver through the clothes wash. It was so sad.
Oh,
it was such a bummer. It was really awful.
I'm so sorry.
I'd put so many hours into the game, and I tried like I don't know if I don't think the rice, putting it in a bag of rice was really a thing.
I don't think we knew about that one.
Yeah.
I don't think it was probably a thing, but I never did it.
I think I borrowed my mom's hairdryer and tried like drying it off. But
you fried the motherboard in the process.
Probably, yeah. I put it on like full heat, like highest setting or something.
Loogie is just burning off the cover.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was so bad. I was really bummed. But yeah, okay, let's talk about the PlayStation.
Yeah, sorry. We'll save Game Boy for next time.
Yeah, Game Boy will definitely. Well, I don't know. Given that we only played Pokemon, I mean, I guess we could talk Pokemon for an hour.
But Game Boy did like go through different generations. We can just cover all the generations too. Like I wasn't planning on staying strictly the PS. I mean, PS1 is like where we're going to sit at today. But
yeah, there's plenty to talk.
Oh yeah, so we're going to try and stick this to Nintendo. I mean, sorry. PlayStation, not Nintendo today.
Yeah, so I didn't realize this. It came out in 1995, which seems wild to me because I remember playing it when I was probably like 7 or 8. I was born in 93, so
someone still had it then. I mean, the PS2 didn't come out until 2000.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that was oh man, PS2! I'm excited for that talk.
Right.
So yeah, it came out in 95. Came out earlier, obviously in Japan, but
not by much. Like just a couple, like maybe 10 months earlier. It looks like.
Yeah. I mean, it did gangbusters though. It was a pretty hot selling console.
It was the first disc-based game system with a memory card, I believe, and that's what
Thank God.
The memory card is really just like kicked the piss out of everything else.
Oh yeah. Oh, I remember. I think this was it was PS1 era. Since it was my stepbrother's, I had I bought an extra memory card and I would just take that with me wherever I went. And if somebody else had a PlayStation, I would just load up my save files, and I just felt so awesome doing that. It just felt like true independence. And it's almost like it reminds me now, like how we don't really have to, like if I wanted to go over to my friend's house to play a game that I had and he didn't, I just need to be able to log into my account.
Yep.
I think it was like the first iteration of that. So yeah, the disc was nice because we weren't blowing into cartridges anymore. But this was at a point where I was not treating my things well, and I was not putting like CDs back in their cases, and there were scratches, and like I had to buy like wax to try and like fill in the scratches in the disc. And yeah, I had a few of those moments. So.
Did you ever? Okay, so you coveted the memory card same as I did.
Oh yeah.
Means you also ran into the heartbreaking moment when your memory card asked you to format it.
Oh yes, this happened to me once and never again. I was playing my save file on. And I'm really excited to talk about this because we have some hot news. So I'm excited that this is very timely. So one of the games I want to talk about this week is the Tony Hawk series 1 and 2. I don't know did you hear the news that came out today, Zach?
I did not. I've been rather busy today, unfortunately. I mean, fortunately, but also like not in a digital way.
Yeah, so today is actually Tony Hawk's birthday, and for his birthday, he announced that they are going to be remaking Tony Hawk 1 and 2.
What the fuck?
It's coming out on the Xbox One, the PS4, and the PC on September 4th. Yeah, I'm super stoked. It's being made by Vicarious Games. They're known for remaking the Crash Bandicoot remaster that's on the PS4, and they actually did a fantastic job.
Yeah, really did actually.
Yeah, so the company that was handling the development the previous few games was this company called Romomoto, and no disrespect to them, but I feel like they really kind of ruined the Tony Hawk series. So I'm excited to see it in some new hands, and the visuals look incredible. And I'm just really stoked because they did say that they're going to try and get most of the soundtrack. And they said there's just like a few songs that they couldn't license. So,
of course.
Yeah. As it happens, man, I couldn't imagine like a Guitar Hero trying to remaster or something like that and license all those songs.
Oh, especially how big Guitar Hero got when everyone was just like, yeah, go ahead and take the song. No one's going to give a shit.
Yeah, right. It's great Hero. Exposure or whatever,
yeah,
too.
Have fun, losers.
Yeah,
dude,
so
I am so stoked. Thank you. That's fantastic.
So to get back to the format thing, yeah, I had a save file for Tony Hawk 1. I want to say I was on one of the last levels, and honestly, I don't remember. I think is France the last level for Tony Hawk 1? I don't know.
I forgot, honestly.
Yeah, so I was pretty close to beating the game, and I had that error, and that was the moment I bought a second memory card. And anytime I'd save my game, I always had 2 memory cards plugged in to my PlayStation 1, and I would save onto both.
Oh boy, you know what? I can't even blame you for that. I really can't.
Did you have a format moment?
A couple. I had one on the PlayStation and the PS2.
Ugh.
It was one of those things where you just like you look at it and you plug it back in and think, no, this is just a read error. That can't happen. This is wrong. Why does it say new game? I have a file. Do you know who I am? I have a file. Like my first time thinking I was good at computers was just instead of logging into the game is going to the memory card directly on the GUI, on the interface that it had, and looking through it and not seeing any data, saying needs to format or no data. I'm like, oh, excuse me, do you know I put hours into this?
Do you know who I am? Do you know how much time I've spent?
I just went over every single, like in my head, every single boss fight or every single thing that took me hours to hit. Like we talked about this before, and this is PS2, but I'm still going to bring it up again. The goddamn McTwist over the helicopter.
Oh my god, dude! I just beat that again recently. Oh, so good, so good.
Fucking Eric.
They need to remake that one. That's the one I want to play.
Oh, dude, Thug 1 and Thug 2 would be great.
Oh,
because you can still play American Wasteland on the Xbox Game Store, I believe. So I'm sure the PSN has it also. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Yeah, there's a great mod community, and they have modded Tony Hawk Underground 2, and the mod community has added every single secret skater that's ever been in a Tony Hawk game, and they've added every level from every Tony Hawk game.
Wow.
Yeah, it's definitely worth looking into. I think it's called Thug Project. I'll look it up to confirm, but yeah, I mean it's incredible. Oh, it's called Thug Pro.
Okay, dude, every single secret skater, are you kidding me? That's insane.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's worth looking into. It's just like the fan base is so like rabid, and they wanted to basically have every game in one, and it's free, which is just incredible. Yeah, it's pretty incredible. So yeah, look into it.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. That's wow.
The only bummer is it's free skate only or high score. So, but I mean, I think a lot of the fans were not in it for the story. I love the story, but yeah. So that is a bummer. The format error is a bummer. I've even had that on I have an external for my Xbox One, or I did, and I've run into so many issues with having to format it that I don't even do it anymore. I just keep the games that I'm playing at the moment on the internal, and I don't even mess with an external anymore.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah. So maybe let's talk about the controller. I think the controller was really pretty awesome. It's the first one in my memory that had the bumpers, and it had the first one didn't have the sticks. It just had the D-pad, right? So it was. I
believe it had the. Oh, you know what? No, the first one didn't have DualShock, and it didn't have the. They're not called directional pads, but the actual omnidirectional what are those called?
Like the sticks,
joystick controllers. Yeah.
It just had the D-pad. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's your game.
Yeah. I think it did come out later with the joysticks, but I remember it having the bumpers, and I just remember it fitting really well in my hand. As much as I like the SNES and the NES, I really don't like those controllers.
Right.
I think especially as an adult, my hands are just like way too big, and I can't find the right grip.
Oh, I couldn't play your Switch at first. So I was like, "What is this?"
Oh, the Joy-Cons are an absolute nightmare. I hate the Joy-Con. Like, I love you, Nintendo. The Switch is like the best console you've done probably since the GameCube. But like, oh, those controllers suck. The Pro controller is the only way to play.
Yeah, no, Nintendo, you rule the world. Like you're Japanese Disney, so we're not talking crap.
Exactly.
We're just saying that I have adult-sized hands.
Yeah, exactly. They refuse to admit that their audience has grown up, and they just they want them to stay young.
I don't know. They say that, but then every Mario game that comes out, there's always a very svelte-looking young lady who's way more realistic than Peach ever was.
Oh man, I'm looking at Mario's thick bod.
I mean, I'm more of a Daisy man myself,
That's fair, and they've allowed. I mean, you can play Doom on your Switch now, so they've made some changes.
Which is insane.
Yeah, it is absolutely crazy. Doom Eternal is so sick.
You can also thank Bayonetta for allowing Nintendo to loosen up a little bit.
That is true. Bayonetta.
We are getting distracted.
Yes. All right, back to the PlayStation. My God. I should have taken some Adderall before we started this.
Never. You get this pure, diced up, measured out Colombian. This podcast is for nerds.
Now, I don't remember. Maybe you'll remember. Was there like a boot up screen? Because my memory of the PlayStation is the PS2, where it shows that fractal space, and you hear the dun when it starts up. Was there anything like that for the PlayStation? I don't remember.
Honestly, I just remember just the game itself starting.
The game just starts, yeah.
Either it started or it gave you an option to go to the memory card or start the game. I think you just started the game. I honestly don't remember that one at all. About it.
Yeah, I think that's about it as far as the hardware goes. So let's get into games. What is the first game you want to talk about from the PlayStation 1?
I'm going to say the first one I'm going to talk about that I played the most when I went over to my friend's house was Twisted Metal.
Oh, dude, I was going to mention that. Yeah, totally. That's such a great game.
It is. And it's one of the games that I wanted to bring up, especially because I didn't realize how dark the game actually was.
I guess I haven't played it since. So, I mean, I remember it being very insanely violent.
Oh, yeah. I just didn't realize, I remember a particular moment where the reason why we were playing it was at a sleepover, and we had Domino's when it used to taste good. And I mean,
how dare you?
It was either that or I was a kid and didn't know any better. I'm pretty sure I was a kid and didn't know any better. I was a fat kid and didn't care. We had Domino's we had Domino's Bunch of Crunch and
oh, nice.
And soda. That was our night. And for me, I didn't get to eat that stuff all the time, even though I was a fat kid. So I just went balls to the fucking wall. Anyway, not the point. We were playing Twisted Metal, and we kept going to the character select because one of the characters, I think he's the one I use, I can't remember, he was like a World War II zombie or whatever, and he had his main attack was like a swarm missile, and he said ass, and how he was like, I'm here to blow somebody's ass up. And we're like, oh my God, oh, he said ass, oh shit. So that was my intro to that game. But I played that a lot. I think just Demolition Derby, and that's where I probably started. I think that was my first car-based game. And obviously, anyone who's played Twisted Metal, it's not a racing game. No, there's no racing, I don't think. Is there a racing mode on that game?
Well, there might have been, but I literally, I just did the demolition. That's all I did.
For me, it was the PlayStation. It was the dark PlayStation version of Mario Kart, where you could because Mario Kart had its own too, where it was a battle arena where you could just go and shoot people for balloons or whatever. This was PlayStation's evil older brother version of that.
Yeah, this was I remember. yeah. So I mean, my brother owned our PlayStation, so this was like my first T-rated game. Mm-hmm. So I just remember like, ooh, this is like I shouldn't be playing this. This is
yeah.
So yeah, I remember there was a character, I can't remember his name, but there was a character that was like, he was standing up and he was between two like truck tires. I don't remember. But he had like rocket launchers on his shoulder or something like that. Yep. Yeah, that was like that character is my jam. I think he was in the second one, and that was still on the PlayStation 1, I think. That game was
Twisted Metal 2 were both on the PlayStation.
Yeah,
and that was the game we played when like the adults weren't around, so they didn't really know what we were like playing. Because, like, you know, the kid who has, like, the system, their parents don't always know what they're playing. They're just like, oh, yeah, buy the game. So, the minute we got caught playing, they're like, wait, what did that character say? Like, nothing. He said sass. Like, he's a sassy old boy shooting rockets.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I remember my mom had no idea what video game ratings were, and she was buying me, like, all these M-rated N64 games, and I was so psyched. Like, I got House of the Living Dead, and I had all my friends over, and we were playing. And she
it's
was
funny
like,
you say that. So House of the Living Dead was actually a game you could play on console.
Yeah, it was.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
So I was just talking to a friend about that, and I played that at arcades all the time, but I never knew it was a home game.
Yeah. I never got far because that was like video game infancy for me. So I was not good, especially at a shooter, and a shooter on the N64 is garbage no matter what.
Except for.
No, dude, GoldenEye sucks.
Bro, stop it. Stop your nonsense. It's the best.
It's not good.
Odd Job.
Yeah, because he's shorter than everyone, exactly. And you don't have to aim.
Odd Job, Bond spacesuit, and Sentinel. The Sentinel rocket launcher with heat-seeking missiles.
I will never speak well of the Bond N64 game. I did like there was one on the GameCube and I think PS2 that I really enjoyed. But
I think it was GoldenEye on the GameCube because I played that a lot also. And
I thought GoldenEye was N64.
I think they kept making GoldenEye. Honestly.
Oh, did they? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do distinctly remember a GoldenEye. Check this right now on the GameCube.
It was Nightfire on the GameCube is the one I remember playing.
Maybe that's the one I was wrong.
And that one was pretty cool. It reminded me of Halo kind of in a sense because it had like the two bases on either side. I mean, I don't think Halo originated that, but that's just pulling from my memory. Like that game was sick. So yeah, I mean, Twisted Metal was sick. I feel like it's something going back I'd probably appreciate more now. Do you remember the soundtrack at all? Was it any?
Oh, I don't remember the soundtrack at all. Actually, I just remember like it was. I just remember it was the first time you could play with like. Because I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, Twisted Metal. Yeah, okay. So I just remember it was just like a knockout tourney, and that's how we ran it.
Oh, yeah, totally.
That's all I remember. All I really remember about it, and it was just a wild game. I couldn't remember the song if I tried, honestly. If it even had
I'm looking at it right now, and there's like only... Oh, there's a few good tunes on here. We got... Holy shit. Well, that can't be right. There's some Buckethead on here. This must be the new one. There's no way this is the old one.
Yeah, I don't even think Buckethead was around.
He's been around, but I don't think he was big enough to. And there's like Avenged Sevenfold. Yeah, this is the new one.
Oh, it's new. And I think too, size wise, I don't think they could even. No, because Tony Hawk did it, but I don't think there was a. I really don't know. I don't think there was any songs really that I would remember on that. Plus, back then I wasn't really listening to music like I do now. That was all just like, people trying to force me to listen to rap, and I'm like, I don't like this. So I have no idea.
Yeah, that game was so sick. And I would love for. And they did one in 2012, but I would love to see a revisit of this series. It'd be really cool to see Sony invest in something like this, especially with like the popularity of Rocket League. You could do something just as outrageous, I think. And I think there's an audience there that would enjoy playing it. You could even like add a soccer mode to the game, I think, and I think people would play it.
I forgot about the one that was on PS3. I didn't hear much about it, honestly.
I didn't either. I had a PS3, but I didn't really play it enough.
All I know is that I saw a trailer for it, and it was really, it was one of those things that was really dark. Like the guy who drives the ice cream truck, he was like, yeah, I killed my whole family except my daughter, but you know what they say, you got to go after the one that got away. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, what is this shit? Like, this is not, what is this? So I was like, okay, like, I don't care about this. This is just, no. Fuck this. I just wasn't with it.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah.
As I got older, real life had happened, and you lose friends, and the reality of some psychopath trying to like murder his family is just like, oh, this happens in real life.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah, definitely.
We play Spyro because there's no pink purple dragons flying around.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Dude, Spyro, I just played the remaster of it a few months ago. It's really good. It's super fluid and it looks really pretty. I
always enjoyed Spyro. Like I always did.
Yeah, I remember I think I only played the first one. I definitely had it. Was it on PS1? Is that what it was on?
Oh shit, son. Spyro was on PlayStation in 1998.
Okay, yeah. So I played the first one. I might have had the second one on PS2, maybe. But yeah, I just remember it being a super fun platformer. I think at that point I had been kind of burnt out on the Mario series,
right? And
it was fun because it was like, I think it was probably the first 3D platformer I ever played. And I think
mine was like right before it, and it was Crash Bandicoot, which were ran back to back, honestly. Like,
right, yeah. I actually never played the original Crash.
No kidding.
Yeah, my wife speaks really highly of it whenever she wasn't like a big gamer, but like anytime we talked about games early on, she was like, oh, Crash Bandicoot was my jam.
Well, it's funny because my wife, the one game that she will play with me amongst many is Crash Team Racing.
Oh man, that game's fun.
Yeah.
I just heard her in the background.
Yeah.
I'm keeping that in.
That's fine. It stays. That's so Crash Bandicoot was my first 3D platformer, and then after that it was Spyro. I think I actually, like, again, because I was getting older and friends and people move away and get different systems, I didn't really play a Spyro game until I got it on the Game Boy Advance, and we're gonna talk about that later on. But it was
I didn't know it was on Game Boy Advance. That's awesome.
Yeah, it went to, I was just looking at it, Game Boy Advance, is it the Game Boy Advance or one of the later on Game Boy Advance by Digital Eclipse.
Wow.
I played Enter the Dragonfly on Game Boy Advance.
And you liked it, or?
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, it wasn't, I feel like the Game Boy Advance controls were very similar to how all the consoles were set up at the time. So it was an easy port to be able to mess with, because you still had the L and R controls, and you still had the D-pad and the just the button command, from what I remember. But that's for next time on this podcast is for nerds.
Yeah,
here, but this we need to stop talking about Game Boy.
Yeah, well, I've since I bought her because they announced the remaster for Crash on PS4, so I bought it, and she's played it, and I watched her play it. And that game is fucking infuriating. I don't know how anyone plays it. It is so goddamn hard. That is like one.
They made it harder, actually. Like, it wasn't like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it wasn't like that. But then again, I also didn't play. I think they remastered 3 and put it in a bundle, right? Like they put different Crash games.
Yep, yeah, they did all 3.
I don't think I played the third one on the original port ever. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's that's a great series. I mean, it's clearly very popular, and
Neo Cortex is hilarious. Like he was one of my favorite villains to like fight.
And I think he's in that PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale game.
I think so.
I think he's one of the playable characters. So
they need somebody.
Yeah, all the hate for that game. I actually think it was pretty fun. Yeah, clearly does not hold a candle to the Smash series, especially in terms of character number. Dear God.
Well, I mean, that's one of those things too, where they really pulled from an eclectic. Like in the beginning, Smash Brothers only had 8 characters, and it was all characters. I mean, except for Link was the only one that was a standout as far as like being a weird kind of like, okay, he's got a sword, and then you have Mario punching. Like, in reality, this would not end well for Mario.
Yeah, right.
But, at least they all kind of came from the same kind of feel, I guess is the only way I can really put that.
Yeah,
because like in the PlayStation one, you have Big Daddy from BioShock, Cole McGrath from Infamous, Colonel Raddick from Killzone, Dante from Devil May Cry, Fat Princess from Fat Princess. I have no idea what the hell it is. Heihachi was in there. Heihachi and Kratos could kill literally everybody else on this
dude, Kratos would absolutely murk everyone. If you have not played the new God of War,
oh, dude,
you were messing up so unbelievably hard. It is one of the best video games I have ever played, period.
I was super stoked on it because they went to one of my favorite mythological backgrounds.
Oh, dude, it's so underutilized, and now I think it's making a comeback because of God of War, because they just announced the
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. It's happening. But yeah, that's the thing. You had characters that really there was no universe for them to be able. Like you had Nathan Drake from Uncharted. Okay, going against Kratos. What's he gonna do? Like clever him to death?
Yeah. What if he just pulls out a pistol and just like murks him?
Yeah, I mean, like Kratos has been burned alive and shot and like killed. Like I don't.
Well, they have a much better lineup now of single player games that I feel like if they rebooted that series, it might do well because they've got the girl from crap. They could do like The Last of Us. Like you could bring in Clickers as a playable character. You could do Ellie. I think that'd be sick. Like, I mean, they have the Killzone characters. The Horizon Zero Dawn girl with the that sick bow and arrow. Like, I think she'd be a really cool character. And then you have Spider-Man. Like they have Spider-Man now. Like
they can like not ever release him. It's kind of funny too because looking at this list of people like Isaac Clarke from Dead Space. Why would I know who that is? If someone's like, "Oh, check it out, the Isaac Clarke edition for pre-order now." I'm like, who the fuck cares? Like,
that's totally the character I remember when I played Dead Space, and not the aliens that are trying to kill me.
Oh, dude, they have Cole McGrath and evil Cole McGrath on here. Oh, buddy,
nice.
Come on, why'd you do both? Oh, buddy, why'd you do that? Sir Daniel Fortesque from Medieval. Who the fuck is that?
What?
He doesn't even have a hyperlink on him, so I'm not even.
Oh wow, he's not even worth looking up.
I'm sorry. This is not what we're supposed to be doing today, but PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale.
Bring it back. Give it a second chance.
It had the potential if Smash Bros. Had literally kicked the living shit out of it.
yeah, that is true.
Like that's pretty much like it was. Because I think I played it once, but I was just confused seeing Kratos on the screen with Sackboy. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, like in what world is Sackboy? like I wonder if I almost think I would enjoy that game more if it was like incredibly imbalanced.
Like,
I think that'd be fun.
Kratos took on gods, the whole Greek pantheon, and
you think he's going to struggle with a piece of fabric? Like there's zero chance.
I mean, I'm just looking at the cover right now, and it's just like it's Kratos dead center, but you have Kratos, and then you have Raiden from Metal Gear Solid, and then Dante on the other side, and it's like, okay, Raiden is tough, but he's not a god killer.
No,
he's an android.
Yeah.
And Kratos would just get more pissed off, and then I forgot this dude's name. It's not Dante. It's not Devil May Cry. What is this guy's name? Nathan Drake would stand in the corner and just be like, "Oh, that was crazy," or "Oh, my luck ran out today," or "Oh, gotta find this ancient treasure." No one gives a fuck. Like, I'm sorry, this is stupid. Spike
Agreed.
from Ape Escape. Who the hell is Spike?
Spike from what?
Ape Escape.
I never played that.
I enjoyed it. I played one. I played a demo of one, actually.
I've heard they're okay games, but yeah, I never played them.
Those little monkeys are fast, dude. Little bastards.
I'm a Super Monkey Ball fan.
You know what? I never played that game.
Oh, dude. Oh, when this quarantine's over, you're going to come over and we'll play Super Monkey Ball on the Switch.
I am down.
All right.
Where did we go? So we talked about Metal Black.
Yep.
So we touched on Spyro a little bit, and we touched on Crash Bandicoot. So tell me a little more about Spyro and why you liked it, and I'll tell you a little more about Crash Bandicoot.
Okay. I feel like, so the 3D I think was huge, and I never played Crash, so this was like my first experience playing the 3D platformer. So I think it added an element of difficulty that Mario did not offer me. Nothing against Mario, because it's incredibly difficult, especially with Super Mario Maker being a thing now, and people just have all the free time in the world to make these like crazy games, crazy levels.
Did you ever play Mario 64, or did you play Spyro first?
I played. I think I played Spyro first because I got my N64 late.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, but they were probably pretty close. And honestly, it was probably the reason I got Mario 64 was because I liked Spyro so much. Gotcha. Because they both have like that similar, like very vibrant color vibe. Pretty whimsical. Like, it's not a very dark series, and like it was pretty accessible. Like I consider myself a bit of a completionist when I play games. Like, I need to collect everything, and I'll spend extra hours like doing all these stupid side missions if it means I've collected every recording, with like BioShock or whatever. And I feel like Spyro was pretty easy. It was much easier to 100% Spyro than Mario 64. So I think there was like an accessibility thing there that I enjoyed, and the story was like super simple, not very difficult for a kid to follow. To be honest, I don't really remember the Super Mario 64 story.
I can agree with you because I did play both. Yeah, I didn't complete Mario 64. It was just like a play until I got bored and just. I don't think I've ever completed a Mario game. Now I think about it, like
I don't know that I have either.
I kind of know how it ends. Either the princess is there or she's not.
She's usually not.
Yeah, and then I'm like, okay, cool, that was fun. But I know, like you said too, for Spyro, what I liked about him is that he, in the first one, you had to go complete missions in order to unlock his like abilities, and that was really cool. Like the first time you get a chance to glide was sweet, and then when you could like glide and then fly and then do the ground pound was sweet because like, okay, cool, I feel like I'm progressing into the story. Yeah, Mario's always gonna either jump or shrink or get KO'd. Like it's pretty much what it's gonna be.
Yeah, my fondest memories of like Mario in comparison to Spyro, or I guess in opposition to Spyro, was like I loved I guess Spyro did have this in a sense, but like I really liked in Super Mario 64 the like slide levels. Those were super fun to me.
Yeah. Terrifying in Sunshine, but yes.
Oh, dude, Super Mario Sunshine's so good. That and like Paper Mario are probably the most. I don't know if they're underrated, but they're my favorite. Probably my favorite Mario games.
I love Paper Mario as a concept. It was a really cool like spin on how to keep it fresh. I got to give it to Mario games. They keep it fresh, and they find a way to always keep it fresh throughout time. Like. That series is older than I am, and I'm 30 years old. So
yeah, I don't own the new one, but what I've played of it is super fun. But Spyro did have the cool like time trials where you had to like fly through all the rings and then like take out all the little trains or whatever it was within the like allotted time without like crashing.
Yeah.
So that was fun. I enjoyed that bit quite a lot.
Yeah, the Spyro games, I liked too when you got to, I think it was after Ripto's Rage, the second game, where they added new characters that you had to use each character's ability to like beat certain levels. And that was a cool trade off from like not only getting Luigi, who is slightly thinner and could maybe jump a little higher than Mario.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I mean, I don't have much else on Spyro.
It looks like they released one game a year for like 10 years straight.
Wow, I am. I guess I'm pretty behind then because I probably played 1 and 2, and then I played the remake. I was at my buddy's place a while ago, and before this all happened, and I played it, and I mean, it looks beautiful, and the controls are as good, if not better. But I certainly did not follow it for that many games. I don't know if you did.
I did not at all. They released 13 games between 1998 and 2008.
Oh, really? Wow. That is insane. That is absolutely insane.
And then they took a break until 2011 with the Skylanders, and he kind of, I think a lot of things had happened, like companies had, I think Insomniac disappeared at that point and became, either they are completely gone or they joined up with Naughty Dog. I forgot how that whole thing went down, but
yeah.
It's all a mix.
Yeah. So my next one I wanted to talk about was, I think I want to get into, well, we've already talked about Tony Hawk. Did that episode get released? What? The Tony Hawk one got released, didn't it? Yeah, I think it did.
Yeah, that's like episode 2 or 3. We were talking about the music in video games, and that was when we started with. That's when we talked about Tony Hawk as a how it brought about different music into the mainstream, but it wasn't about the game itself. So you're totally at liberty to talk more about it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I can add, because the first one, I've played all of them, and the first one I played was 1 and 2. I think they were in a bundle, if I recall correctly.
I think so,
on the PlayStation 1.
I think so, because 3 was on its own.
Yeah, 3 came out on the PlayStation 2, and 3 was like so I played 1 and 2 by myself, and I think 3 was like the one I remember like having friends over and we'd all play together. Because they had like they had all the cool, they had probably my favorite secret skaters were from 3. They had Darth Maul. I was hot on Star Wars at that point. They had Wolverine.
I forgot about that, actually.
Yeah, my favorite was Darth Maul would so like you're picking your skater in the skate shop, and there's like a guy working behind the desk, and if you pick Darth Maul and you just like sit there and you don't select him, he starts like force choking the guy behind the desk. The guy like raises up in the air and he starts choking, and he makes this like gargling sound. It's so horrible. But anyways, yeah, the 1 and 2 were just like, and I don't want to focus on the soundtrack too much, but really like, it just like, it is the soundtrack of my youth. I think like I just, all that music is such fond memories. Like, I honestly think that series probably introduced me to hip hop. Because I had pretty lily white parents. They don't listen to rap at all. Or they certainly weren't introducing me to it.
Yeah.
So that was like my first exposure to hip hop, and I feel like the hip hop that is in Tony Hawk is like really good. There's some really, really good stuff there, like Del the Funky Homo Sapien, like that Hygiene song that gets stuck in my head all the time. And I bump it in the car regularly. So yeah, I mean, so I think Tony Hawk 3 was the first one to have revert. So I don't think there were like, you couldn't do like crazy combos and like a half pipe on Tony Hawk 1 or 2. And I don't think Tony Hawk 1 didn't even have manuals, if I recall correctly, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, I believe you're correct. Yeah.
Yeah, they had it in 2. They definitely had it in 2, but there's like, because I remember playing, and when I was replaying Underground, they had a challenge where you had to get these combos only using abilities based on a certain Tony Hawk game. So like the first high score, you could do whatever you wanted. So you could like get off your board, and you get that little timer or whatever to get back on your board to keep the combo going. The second one, you couldn't get off your board, but you could still do reverts and manuals. The third one, you could do manuals but no reverts, and then the last one, you couldn't do any manuals. So it was a tough challenge. I was like really struggling on no manuals. I didn't realize I used those so much. But
manuals are a quick way to cheat the timer too. If you really need to get that last bit of like,
totally
score, you just keep manualing and just doing variants to that and just holding it. But the risk with that too is that if you like, if you fall off the board with a crazy combo on top, you are hating life.
Oh yeah, dude. Because I remember like there was a point where I didn't know like which way you're supposed to let the meter go based on the type of manual you're doing.
Yeah.
So like I'd be doing a nose manual and I'd be like, all right, I need to finish this. And I'd feel confident. I'll be like, well, the meter's like, it's going towards the top, so I'm good. And then it'd go and I'd bail and I'd be like, oh shit.
Yep.
Yeah. It's such a great game series. I have so many fond memories of doing like tag where you go back and forth tagging each other and you'd like run all over the map and try and like get really high up and you know somebody's waiting for you at the bottom of a half pipe while you're doing a trick in the air and they get you.
Tag was pretty brutal too because they couldn't knock you off your board.
yeah, it was super fun. And then there was like horse, which was another really really fun one. And did you ever play the Skate series?
I tried.
Okay.
I tried playing the first one. I think I was so used to Tony Hawk that it was hard for me to get it.
Yeah, like the transition, because it's much more difficult.
Yeah, someone said, "Oh, this is made to be more intuitive and natural based on how you actually skate." And Tony Hawk Pro Skater did get me kind of skating for a little while. I can't say I was any good, but I did use it as a mode of transport. But also being a fat kid on a skateboard, things just didn't go well for very long. But Kareem Campbell inspired me to get on a skateboard.
Oh, Kareem Campbell is the shit, dude. Oh my gosh. I host this monthly bad movie night, and we were watching Grind. I don't know if you've seen that.
I have not.
Oh, it's a terrible skateboarding movie, but like there's actual pros in the movie, and they have Bam Margera's in it. Bob Burnquist is in it, and then I just noticed it when we were watching it the most recently because I've seen it a million times. But Kareem Campbell's in it, and I lost my mind when I saw him. I was like, "Holy shit, that's Kareem Campbell!" It's like one of my favorite skateboarders.
Yeah, it was always, for me, it was either Kareem Campbell or Alyssa Steamer were the ones that I use
totally.
all the time.
Yeah, I was a big Rodney Mullen fan.
Hell yeah.
Just because he I love flat ground, and that they implemented that so well, like later on in the series. I feel like they did a great job with flat ground or flatland tricks.
Yeah.
Also,
I actually think skate videos were the reason that I got into like punk and hardcore. Like it was Tony Hawk Pro Skater, and then skating, and then skate videos themselves like helped push that, because I didn't listen to music videos. I didn't watch music videos back then. I didn't have like MTV or cable, but I did have a way to watch skate videos. I don't remember how or why, but it doesn't matter. I think every game, did you unlock a skate video from at the end of Thug 1 and 2, they actually put skate videos in it?
Yeah. I mean, they've been doing that since the beginning. Because
I couldn't remember.
Yeah, the every level in Tony Hawk 1 through all of them pretty much have a secret tape, and that tape and they would have bales were always my favorite. I'd have my buddies come over and we'd watch the bales, and we'd all cringe when the guy like hits his nuts on the rail or whatever it was.
That's always the worst one. I mean, except for that one from break.com or whatever that was called. That one dude falls and like his whole forearm just folds.
Wait, I think I have seen that one.
You have, because it's like he's in a parking lot. He's doing okay. He's just trying to do like, I forgot what the move is called, but he's just kind of like going back and forth like on top of the board, just kind of like just going through the parking lot, and he like slips off and lands on his hand, but then his hand breaks and it comes up to like his face or something like that. So he just gets like a square out of an arm.
Oh my gosh. I have I'm going to do this live because I think your reaction is going to be really funny.
Oh, man.
I'm going to send you a link to a bale that is so funny. Well, I don't know. It's not
Come on,
funny.
just let me have it. Just send it.
All right. Let me know what you think. It's a skateboarder. He's doing a trick. He's ollieing over this ledge, and it goes down on a sidewalk, and he falls off the skateboard and he lands on a telephone pole.
Oh my God. Where are you sending this?
It's in the chat. I'm sorry. If you click on the more and then click on chat, there's a YouTube link in there for you to watch.
Oh man, here we go, live. Yep, here it goes. I love that, Zoom is so intuitive, but we can't just get a direct hyperlink to what we want to do.
You couldn't click on it?
No, it just gave me just straight. Okay, here we go. Let's see this dude. Oh my son of a bitch. He lost it. He hit his dick so hard he lost a shoe.
Yeah, it's a rough one.
I feel like he just like, how's he? Oh yeah, he got up and tried to walk. Why'd you try and walk? Just
stay down, dude.
Stay on the ground.
Just be in it for a minute.
Just let yourself feel.
Exactly.
Just let yourself feel. Oh my God, that's
yeah, it's a rough one.
I felt him. He bounced off the damn pole. Like,
yeah, it's insane. So, have you? Or are there any other ones any other games on the PlayStation 1 that you want to mention? There's a few that we need to mention that I don't have much to talk about.
Go ahead and throw those out there. Let's see what we got.
So we have to mention Final Fantasy VII, I think.
Yes, we do. I actually didn't play any Final Fantasy game until PS2, and that's why I didn't mention it, because I hadn't played it on the PS1.
Okay. I mean, I don't have much to add. I think my first Final Fantasy game was on the PS2 as well. Was yours 10?
Mine was 10.
Yeah. 10 was
10 was hilarious because I didn't understand why everyone was losing their shit over having voice actors. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? It's
2000 whatever it is. This is a normal thing at this point.
And this was I think it was Final Fantasy X and Kingdom Hearts were my intro to Square Enix as a company. And just liking that art style and how they tell stories and stuff. Titus was a punk ass little bitch. Like, I was all about Auron and Lulu, my favorite characters. So I
Titus
was also
sucks, dude. His laugh is awful.
Oh, a guy who's just trash human. And it sucked because I didn't realize that the game doesn't tell you that it wants you to balance characters out for different fights. So I put everything into Auron and Lulu, and didn't realize that at certain points of the story, I would not have either Auron or Lulu. So I was like, oh, fuck. Like, there's one scene in particular where you have to fight the Beirut worm on top of an airship. Waka is the only one with distance attacks, but I didn't put anything into Waka. So
Waka was the shit.
I was like, okay, cool. Everyone's dying except for this blitzball player. And I'm just like, cool. I can't hit anything. So I had to, and again, back to memory cards, I had to go back and redo the story up to that point to like actually balance him out and make him a usable character at range. So I was just not doing that. And then that, learning about how to use haste and learning how to the turn-based system. I'd actually love the turn-based system in those games because it gave you time to think.
Oh, it's so sick, dude. And they kind of moved from that. Did you play 10 too?
I did, but I didn't like it as much. I actually just went to trigger time the entire time and just like shot everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I think 10 was like probably my first JRPG. And I just remember like falling in love with the skill tree.
Yeah, that was awesome. Like that was really cool. Different than any other game I played. I liked how in Kingdom Hearts we are not. Yeah, no, this still counts. Whatever. We're doing PlayStation overall. In Kingdom Hearts,
I'll have much more for PlayStation 2 era.
Yeah. Well, I'll just throw this slight one in here. I like the battle system in Kingdom Hearts because it allowed you to still have control or give at least pre-controlled settings to the other AI. And then you could still like do your thing and not
do your hack and slash thing.
Exactly. So I like that kind of. The camera in that was awful, but other than that, it was pretty good.
Yeah. And then I think the other one we have to talk about, we didn't even really talk about 7 other than Tifa is waifu. And you should get the remake because the remake is
crazy.
It's unbelievable how much work they put into that.
It's unbelievable how they stretched the first part of the game into being like.
I know, right? Yeah, I'm curious what the breakdown is for the future releases. The other one we have to talk about is Metal Gear Solid. I think that series is so important to,
and again, that's
to gaming in general.
The only reason I didn't mention it is because I didn't actually play it on the PS1.
Okay, did you play any of the other ones?
I did. I played. I need to double check. I played the more recent ones actually. I didn't play 5, but I did play 4, and I played Rising Revengeance.
Okay.
Which technically wasn't Metal Gear Solid, but it followed Raiden, and they called it like Metal Gear Fruit Ninja. But I still enjoyed the game, and the soundtrack kicked ass. So.
Oh yeah, I mean all those, but I mean it was probably the first stealth 3D game. I think probably it's certainly
that or Perfect Dark.
Oh, that's true. You're probably right. I don't know which one came out first, but to me it created my love of stealth games, and I kind of moved away from the Metal Gear series. I need to get back into it. It
created my love for Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Like Death Stranding is a bonkers ass game.
It helped my love for Hideo Kojima. I am super down. I actually had on my back of my work computer a picture of him drinking Konami tears. in that mug. I don't know if you knew about all that. I'm sure you did, but like.
Oh yeah, dude, they really screwed him over.
They did, and I love how he just like, oh hey, cool. So by the way, here I'm drinking Konami tears. Actually, if this COVID thing continues, I'm going to order the mask from Death Stranding and use that as my daily mask.
Oh dude, that's amazing. Oh my god, that's such a good idea. I want to do that.
Put a filter in it.
Oh my gosh, that's genius. Come on, and Konami.
Be my Higgs and I'll be your dead man.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Let's do it.
I'm super down. They make the mask.
Where can I find this? I
saw one on Etsy and I saw a couple other ones. People are like 3D printing, but like I do.
Oh, that's one. Dope as hell. Yeah, I'm definitely getting one of these. I will. I'm gonna ship you one.
I'm with it. That could be that'd be a new cover. We don't even need to like. I don't have to even draw the pictures. I can just take it.
Yeah, there you go. So that's pretty much, I think we're at about time.
Do you have a business you're shouting out, and are you drinking anything right now?
Yeah, so let's talk about, I feel like we need to do the drink at the beginning going forward. What do you think about that?
We do. We should.
Okay. All right. I'll try and remember next time.
I actually just did forget about the drink this time.
No, me too. Totally. I was just thinking about it, though. I was like, we should probably talk about that at the beginning. I am drinking Lagunitas IPA.
Oh, you always like to rub that in my face.
What are you drinking, Zach?
I'm actually drinking water because it is Ramadan and we are going to go get some food.
Oh, hell yeah. What are you guys getting?
I'm not sure. And I don't celebrate Ramadan, but I have highest respects of it. And there are a lot of awesome restaurants that are open in Dearborn, and they're doing curbside. So again, supporting local businesses and supporting being part of the community. And it sounds awesome. We're going to go do it. Probably some bubble tea is going to be first on the menu.
Oh, hell yes. Absolutely. God, yes, absolutely. That is amazing. That's a good idea. I want bubble tea now. So the business I'm going to shout out this week is the Michigan and State Theater in Ann Arbor. They are Ann Arbor-based movie theater. There's two of them. They're like right by each other. One of my buddies used to work there, and it's just nice because Ann Arbor is actually really flush with movie theaters. We have, unfortunately, I don't know if you heard, Zach, Quality 16 or the Goodrich brand as a whole is going out of business. They filed for bankruptcy. So we're going to be losing our Quality 16 that we have. I actually like that theater a lot.
I actually didn't know about it.
The theater itself?
Yeah, the only theaters I've been to were the Imagine in Saline.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so we have the Imagine in Saline and then the Rave theater in Ann Arbor. The Quality 16 theater was the first of those, I think, in the area to open, like big chain one. And I have a ton of memories of going to that theater. I saw like all the Star Wars movies there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like all my big memories of movies have happened there. But the Michigan Theater and State Theater are just like really great. They host concert series. Like they do comedy shows. Like I met Mike Birbiglia at the Michigan Theater. He's a great comedian. You should check him out. It's not a local business, but but they just do great stuff for the community too. They host a lot of events, and they don't do like the big blockbuster movies. So if you're looking to find like a Parasite, I saw there before it was ever coming out to Rave or Imagine or Quality 16. They show like the really good indie movies, and they host I think they co-sponsor the Ann Arbor Film Festival every year.
Okay.
Which unfortunately got canceled. Well, it didn't get canceled. They moved it digitally, but it is like a big event for Ann Arbor. So just as a lover of movies, I wanted to give a shout out to the Michigan Theater. And you can get memberships at the Michigan Theater. Their premium or their basic membership is $70 a year.
It's not bad, actually.
Yeah, it's really great. And they have, I believe... So they have no fees for online purchases. They have parking validation. And if you bump up to the premium at $160 a year, for two people, you get 2 free tickets to a movie on Tuesdays, as long as it's a Michigan and State Theater sponsored movie, and you get half off popcorn. So it's like a really, really good deal. I mean, you consider how much you spend in popcorn and movie tickets in a year at a big chain. This is a big savings, and it helps a local business. So I just want to give them a shout out. So I'll toss up to you. Yeah.
Cool. My local business shout out is going to be a restaurant again, but I think I'm going to start by saying I shout out all restaurants who are still keeping in business, still taking care of their employees and taking care of their communities by adapting to these situations that are unfolding and are offering curbside and online delivery, online curbside takeout, all that good stuff. We appreciate you. In particular, my shout out today is going to go to Tomokun in Ann Arbor.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, close to the Michigan Theater, actually. We were driving around and weren't really sure what we wanted that day. And we were like, hey, let's check out Tomokun. And then come on, man. It's I can't even put it back into words. Because for the price point, for what we got, and you know how it's just a very simple texture thing. You know when you get food and they leave it in a container and it steams and it doesn't stay crispy for whatever you're getting? This was not the case at Tomokun. They know how to handle their food. They know how to give it to you, prep it, get it ready to party, and party in your mouth and in your bowels. Go to Tomokun, eat your food. I think we got like shrimp buns, pork buns. I got we did get bibimbap. It was awesome. Just go there.
So did you do the noodle bar or did you do the Korean barbecue?
We did Korean barbecue. I don't know. It wasn't Korean barbecue. It was the Japanese
the one on the left is the barbecue, and you have the hot plate between you at the table, and you cook the meat yourself.
Well, we ordered to go, so we didn't do that.
Oh right, yeah, because you guys went recently.
Yes.
So
I know that my wife got chicken katsu.
Oh my gosh, their chicken katsu is so good.
Yes, and I got something else that wasn't katsu. It was, I forgot the name of it, but it was just awesome. We were really satisfied for what we got, and for the amount of food we got per the price we paid. We just like, wow, this is like 2 other meals. We couldn't finish it right there.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing to me is like, the entree is probably expensive for what somebody would consider for one meal, but like I always get the spicy chicken ramen when I'm there. And it's always 2 or 3 meals for me. Yeah. And I like, you can ask my wife, I do not like leftovers. I hate leftovers.
Me too.
Like, I will never eat leftovers, but their leftovers are perfect at Tomakun.
Yeah. I leftovers, and I have a rule. There's only certain things that are allowed to be leftovers and from certain places. And that list is very small.
Agreed.
I don't do it. I don't do it well. Like, even when I meal prep one thing that can go with different things, and it has a 3-day limit. After that, no, I'm not doing that whole, well, let's just sniff it and find out. No, if I have to sniff it, it's going in the fucking trash.
Exactly. Yeah. If you have to sniff.
Like container and all, too. I'm not opening it. It's going in the trash. Oh, I paid this one. No, it's going in the goddamn trash.
I'm not recycling. Okay, so what are we doing next? So next week is Media Club. Watch season 1 of Leftovers. Have you watched any of it, Zach?
I actually have not, but we're going to watch it again. We're going to watch it together this week.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if your wife is going to like it.
That's kind of why I make her watch it with me.
Okay. All right. Don't be mad at me.
Oh, man.
If she doesn't like it, it's not my fault. Because to be clear, based on I may be interpreting what she's saying wrong, but I think she hated Lost because she didn't get answers. This show will not give you any answers.
You know what? I feel good that you told me that ahead of time, though.
Yeah.
Because that probably would piss me off also. And that gives me a different mindset to go into this story.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you giving me that.
Yeah, you will not get the answers you're looking for. So that is next week. Watch season 1. It's on HBO. I'm not going to tell you to pirate it, but I can't stop you.
Do not say that.
And then, so I don't know, what do you want to do the week after? Which console are we doing? PlayStation again, or do we want to do a Nintendo one?
I feel like we got to go to Nintendo because we let Nintendo kind of take over a little bit through this.
Okay, so are we doing NES, SNES, N64, handheld? What are we doing?
Well, we started with the first console that I played with today. Who was the first one that you played on the Nintendo side?
First one I played was probably SNES, but the first one I really got into was N64.
Let's do N64 because I think SNES and NES and SNES both for me were just a bunch of cartridge blowing bullshit on 2 games. So, wasn't much there, honestly.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
So actually, I did have a question for you.
Yeah, sure. What's up?
The question is nothing. There's no setup.
Oh, you turned it on me.
I had to turn it on you. You want to know why?
Why?
Because we can't become predictable. Because if we become predictable, no one will ever come back next time, for this podcast is for nerds.